we can see that a little bit reflected. Hello, YouTube. Welcome to Psychic Hotline. We're getting ourselves started over here. I will share the screen and be reading the chat also from TikTok. So if you don't see the chat on YouTube, but you do see it on TikTok, that's where we're talking. Hi, Dwadaki, how are you? It's nice to see you. How is everything? Getting my little lip gloss ready to go. But again, if you guys have any questions, anything you want to comment in the chats below. Hi, River, welcome. Hi, 416. Let me know. I need to get some more candles for my candelabra. These are the pseudo candles, but I like the real deal. I like to get the big packs in bulk. Oh yeah, I would love to. I hope everything has been treating you well. Have you been feeling a little psychically inclined? Expansion School. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's so funny because there are some people, I knew you were going to tune in today. This is the blessing of having psychic gifts, because I was like, I clicked on your profile, I followed you, and I was like, you need to be posting more. Christy, okay, Christy, have we met before, Christy? I'm like, why do I feel like I know you? maybe in a past life. Oh, Christy, yes, okay, my Christy that I met with. Okay, yes, okay. I was like, why are you not posting more? Oh my gosh, okay. All right, I didn't realize. Okay, there we go. Yay, okay. I was like, there's such a resonance, but oh my gosh. Hi, Crystal, welcome. But yeah, definitely need to be posting more. Your energy is so good, and it felt, the one video that I saw that I watched quickly, because I was answering people's comments on my video that I posted this morning, because on my page I started doing for October a little bit of a psychic read when you drop your rising sign for a tip or two, and then I also started doing intuitive reads as well. And I love that. Just Expansion School, all of the yellow, it feels very solar plexus activated. It feels like there's a little bit more, I'm just gonna dive right into you too, a little bit more openness as well. I do, yes, absolutely. Okay, yeah, I was so excited. I actually just read for projector today. I read for anyone's charts, anyone's energy. There's never anything that, no stone left unturned. That has been coming up a lot today, but it was funny, and this is divine synchronicities that we see that happen all the time. So I went to Fordham University, which is a school up in the Bronx borough of Manhattan. And I moved to Pennsylvania about like 2.5 hours away from Fordham 3 years ago. Hi, Luisola. And so when I went to this women's circle, oh yay, Crystal, I love that. Crystal Kelly Music, and you're a musician, I love that. Are you a Leo by chance, or do you have any Cancer Leo placements? I feel like I've met you before too, if I'm not mistaken. Have I read for you before, Crystal? Yeah. I'm gonna tell this story. Oh, and let me open in case anyone wants to get a reading for me, 10 minutes of my uninterrupted time, there is a link in my bio. $8 for 10 minutes, but we can keep chatting in the interim because I'm a certified yapper, as you know. But so I came to Pennsylvania, and I had started going to this local women's circle. And so one of the women's circles I was at, I've been going like once a month around the full moon and new moon, excuse me. And I was there, and I started talking to this woman named Pooja, and we started talking, and she was like, I also graduated from Fordham, and we ended up graduating the same year. And I was like, we definitely know each other. Like there's definitely, we've connected. So it was so funny. It ended up that she drove there was a campus in Manhattan that would bring us back and forth to each respective campuses for like a little ticket. And she was a driver of the shuttle, and I used to have to go back and forth. She ended up referring my projector client, hi Adonis, referring the client that I read for today that's a projector. So that was a funny like way to say that. And this is, I re-met Pooja, the woman that when I went to Fordham with like a year ago now. So it's just so funny. But all that to say, her beautiful friend Leanne, we had mutual connections, I realized, via Instagram after I followed her today, after I read for her. And yeah, it was just so funny. ¿De dónde eres? I think that's where you're from, right? If I'm not mistaken. Lo siento. What is it? Hi, Sunrise Jesus. How are you? I love that. Welcome, welcome. I'm also on TikTok at the same time. So if you can't see who I'm talking to, it's not just this random person I'm looking at in the corner. I always like to say that. But yeah. So yeah, I live in the, Estados Unidos in Espanol? I was thinking of Etats Unis, but I think that's in Francais. Thank you for the heart me. I'm so excited. So, oh, did you realize you went to Fordham for a year when you were 16? Yes, is that to Fordham Prep behind the, we basically share the campus, right? That's so funny. Because I'm assuming 16. But I also could see you being the 16-year-old Adonis that was so smart that you took like audited a college class when you were 16. It's like I'm laughing, but really like we could see that happening. But yeah, if you guys want to just have me channel for you, I'm totally cool to just do like a little bit of if you want to drop a word or something like that, we can start doing that too. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, it was a summer program with the Verizon. I love that. If you sign up in the link in my bio versus dropping it in the chat, I will send you a link with the recording, so you have that afterwards. But if you do just want to drop a word at this point, you don't have to do that, and I'll just give you a minute or so, wherever the pin video takes us. Hi, Chris, how are you? That's so cool, Leo. I love that. I love that. I love that. Hello to my husband. My husband just popped in. I love some insight to help with the relationship I'm pivoting from. It's so funny. Okay. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that, Crystal. Okay, let me pin for Dev Leo. And then, it ended. Okay, I felt that. And then I'll pour into you, Crystal. So what I'll do is I'll pin the comments. And then if you do want to watch your recording, you can sub to my YT, and it's under my lives there as well. So we're about 6-7 minutes into the recording too, just so you don't have to give me your email address online. So just to tap into Adonis for a little bit. So I'd love some insight to help with a relationship I'm pivoting from. It ended on our anniversary, the 24th. So it's so funny because I can see how I heard right idea, but the wrong execution. This person was good for you to be able to kind of get you off the ground and get you going in the direction that you needed to go in. But ultimately, I think resented the power that they gave you, ironically. And so what it should have been in a romantic relationship was support, but what it became was resentment on their part over time, is what it feels like. It feels like what they're sharing with you may err on the side of more manipulative, or it's so funny because with your energy, I don't even mean it's funny, but you have so much grace that I really know that you're the type of person at your core that no matter how dirty someone does you in some ways, you are always able to see that person with passion and reverence in a way that there's a lot of, you may not like the way that they treated you, but you can understand the motivation for why, yes, exactly, Crystal, for why they did. Or that would be a way that you can look at that relationship. Gate 25 comes to mind. Absolutely. It's that gift of the spirit, gate of the spirit of the self, where you're really able to stand from a place of integrity. It just feels like, what I also heard is it's lonely at the top for you. The higher you fly, there's only so many people that realize that they even have wings, let alone soaring as much as you do. So much of the visualization I get for you too is the biblically accurate angel, which is so funny. All-seeing eye also comes to mind when I say that. It feels very ethereal is always the word. I think just being able to have a place where you can land in the clouds that feels a little bit more grounded spiritual side, and really being able to lean into aspects of community, especially because the separation was so recent. Hi, Chris. Chris or Christ or both. Hello. Thank you. So being able to lean into that in that way. I think just having your community, being able to be in a space that feels a little bit more supportive is just what also feels appropriate. So being able to lean into that for yourself is going to be, yeah. And I'm so glad we have you to be there together. Hi, Sony. Hi, Chelsea. Yeah, aligning more communities to feel supportive. Yeah, I just think of you, this is just the beginning, and I know and I can see it so clearly, just a certain level of having a following, fame in a way that I think the way that you will have fame will be in a way that we are unaccustomed to. Hi, gorgeous. Oh, Christy, thank you. In the best way. So just knowing that and having that resonance. Hi, Miriam, thank you. That's also something that I see that so clearly for you. It's not even, hi CSR, it's not even a matter of, I say this to people for different things, but it's not even a matter of if it will happen, but when it will happen. And you're going to show us how it's going to be done in a more conscious way where respect is also there. It's thank you for letting me pour into you in that way. Absolutely. It's something I clairvoyantly, it's just there. as third eye as my t-shirt or my turtleneck. It also just feels so funny, like, to say, like, turtleneck. I don't know why. But let me also, thank you so much for letting me pour into you again. Is Crystal saying, let me see. I have a Leo stellium, 10th house, Chiron, MC, and Venus. I haven't met you. Okay, yes, absolutely, because we were talking about fame for you, too. I feel that for you, too, Christy, because you are also a projector. Viv, oh, thank you, Viv. I appreciate that. Oh, I'm screenshotting that. Thank you. If you want to drop, I'm doing longer 10-minute readings for $8, but if you guys want to just drop a sentence or something in the comments below, I'm just kind of going in order. I'm cross-posting or cross-streaming to my YT channel, the Tube of You. If you want to sub to me over there and watch your little clip back in real time. I can clip like a minute at a time, but the whole recording is going to be there. Oh, I love this. Okay, so just to pour into Crystal before I keep reading the comments. So slow and steady wins the race, which feels really frustrating, Crystal, because there's probably a lot of ways. It's interesting because I can see for you that I almost wonder if you're doing something with Insight Timer. Oh, hi, how are you? Beautiful, welcome, butterfly, beautiful butterfly. Hello, thank you for being here. But I also see that for you, Crystal, with just being able to really take your time to do it the right way, which is very projector also, but just outside of that for you, being able to lean into, it's so funny because I feel like my eyes got washed. Maybe you were crying recently, but just like an expanded view, similar to Ascending Universal Butterfly over on YT. The eyes just kind of go like this. I wonder if you also have been or do focus on high vibrational music and looking into the frequencies of sound. I also pictured you playing acoustic guitar in a hospital setting. So I don't know if there's something that you do to give back, or like how you can play jazz for cows and they listen, right? Cows love jazz music, something along those lines where you're almost creating medicine through your music in some way, which feels very apropos. What I said for a lot of my Leo placements that I've been channeling right now is that it's safe to be seen by people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Yes, likewise. Thank you. It is safe to be seen by people who are committed to misunderstanding you. So even if they don't understand, even if it takes time for the right people, know that the quality of people becomes the quantity over time. Thank you, Jerison. Welcome. Seeing him. Yeah, aligning with communities that feel more supportive. Yeah, Chrissy. Oh, hello. Oh, Miriam, thank you. You're so gorgeous. Gratitude. The I Ching told me my thoughts are effective. The reality, 100%. I actually have the I Ching book right here with a few of my spiritual tools on top, but this is a really good one by Benabel Wen. Very, very good. I Ching connects to the gene keys in human design, so if you don't know that. So I've been hermiting still, trying to show up for the collective. Absolutely. And there's always ways, listen, it's so funny because I feel like I might as well be sitting in the room talking to all of you guys simultaneously, but because we're so into our people, like I can just kind of pour in and it's like, oh, we might as well be here. Even though when I look around and the camera goes off, it's just me and my furry little assistant who's sleeping in the blankies over on the couch over there. So just pouring into that. Oh, Christy, welcome. Thank you so much. I'm going on, I thought it was 3 years, but I think I've only been going live for 2. I've been on TikTok for 3. So yeah, I'll be in my house 3 years in April. And then it was February. Okay, so it'll be three years in February, if I'm doing the math correctly. Let me see. Okay, so let me go in order. So let me go to beautiful. Yeah, you're so well. Oh, Scorpion. Oh, I love that, Jose. I'm just going in order here. Let me do Viv next. So inventory is my word. Struggling with rumination, also pivoting from an important relationship. It's so funny because immediately when you said inventory, I pictured a bunch of like silver bracelets with charms on my wrist. I know down in Texas, I think it's like Jen Avery or something like that. There's like I hear a lot of jewelry. So when I see inventory, I don't know if that's something. It's so funny because I see it both sides where it's literal inventory, taking stock, but also it feels like energetic inventory of having to, hi Orion, of having to pivot and take stock on a lot of tracking, which is also very Scorpio. A lot of tracking. A lot of rumination right now has to do with, especially if you, I don't know if you have a lot of Scorpio in your chart. I'm just going to go down to make sure, seriously, nothing exists in a vacuum, 1000%. Yeah, oh, it's safe to be seen, those committed to, yeah, by those committed to misunderstanding. Love that beautiful channel. You're welcome. Thank you. Oh, James Avery, I think is the name of the bracelets. It's, yeah, but a lot of tracking. It feels like there has to be a lot of assessment in layers. However, both is accurate. Trinkets, adornments, but yeah, tracking relationships. Yes, it feels like, oh, Christian jewelry shop in Texas. That's interesting. So I wonder if spiritually, hi Julia, if that resonates in some way, or almost if somebody is hiding behind their Christianity, which can also be interesting. I mean, there's so much we could say on that too. But be careful. I don't want to get you know what, off this portal, I will say. But for you, Viv, I also would just pay attention to how much rumination is done with, because it's the energy of wanting to take action, but it has nowhere to go when we're ruminating. So being able to say, okay, the best part, just to validate this for you, Viv, is that you know what's happening. You've put a vocabulary word to it. So, oh, she left me. Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. That's so interesting because talking about like Christianity too, if it was kind of like wanting to be seen publicly, thank you, Orion, in a safer way. Like it feels like it's almost primal safety of like, oh, like I can go to my auntie and say like, this is just a phase. It feels a little, hi Vanessa, thank you. It feels a little like I don't, snake-like is what I want to say. It just feels seedy, like it wasn't a, okay, I'm doing this now, bye. You know, like very not taking it seriously. And I mean, listen, there's so many things like, it's just a phase, mom. I also like very emo, you know, not to diminish what you're saying. I am an Aquarius Mercury, so sometimes I use humor in my readings, but I don't say that to diminish the intensity of it. I think a lot of my people though, like, we understand in some aspects if we don't laugh, we'll cry. And that's a lot of, I feel just for all of us collectively that are in here, I just sense that from the 17 of us that are together, 18 of us at this moment in time. Yeah, no, I totally get, she's a spooky F. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, yeah, there you go. I just think that there's no use crying over spilt milk, for sure. I think that, yeah, I would just allow yourself to clean. It's so funny because for so many people, clean whatever, it almost feels like that you have an area that was dedicated to your relationship that almost turned into like an active altar with the trinkets, that it's what I'm being shown is like no big lights, no lit room, and there's dust, but you need to clean it and make it something else and something new to just show your ancestors, show your spirit guides that you're willing to revamp to the other side. So I would just allow yourself to kind of be like, okay, a changing of the guard is also what I heard too. So just being able to lean into that too. Thank you for letting me pour into you. Yeah, laughter keeps me sane. I totally hear that. I'm just going in order of the comments here. Let me go back. I think I saw beautiful Sony and Chelsea and Christy. Okay. Miriam. Oh, your sun and rising is in Leo. Of course, you're gorgeous. I love that. I love that. I love that. Yeah. So also for you, what I said for Crystal, Miriam, it's safe to be seen by people who are committed to misunderstanding you or also don't have your best interests in mind. Very, very important. Let me see. I don't know if Jose. Hi, Kat. Welcome. I think Jose has left. Yes, Chelsea said yes. This hits so hard. I'm really healing my Leo Chiron 9th house with my 10th house Leo moon. Yes, with being seen. It's so true. It's so true. Oh, I love this. Hold on. I'm pivoting. So beautiful Sony is one of my reflectors. And she's saying, I started an LLC, waited a lunar cycle to name it Emporio La Luna. I love that. I love that. I love that. What a gorgeous way to honor your lunations too. Let us know when you're ready. Let us know what you end up doing or what you're selling and how I can just sing your praises in any way, shape, or form. But I love that so much. I know what we talked about, but I don't want to. It doesn't feel right for me. When I feel spirit does this to me, they're like, Brenna, sit back. Like, it's okay. We don't have to say everything all at once, but just being able to gently guide and say, okay, I don't have to speak on this right now. Also to protect the integrity of my people. I had this conversation with Orion earlier, Monday, and how there's certain doors, it just feels like they kind of sit me back, whether it's your guides, my guides, usually a combination of both. Like, it's okay, but it's so funny because if you're not used to speaking with spirit, it could feel a little, ooh, like, what is that feeling in my chest? But I mean, similar to what I said to Adonis for you, Sony, it's just a matter of, it's only like when it happens for you and takes off. It's not a matter of if it's going to. So just knowing that, I said this earlier, I actually said it for my energy of the day for tomorrow and something that I was channeling, where anything that's meant for you, that desire isn't on your heart for no reason. It was a version of this that I had said. It's not on your heart for no reason. There is a reason that you're able to feel that desire and put it into practice. It's just a matter of not, similar to what Viv said, to use her word rumination. It's about refining in a way that helps you to integrate it with your nervous system so that you don't burn out or burn the candle at both ends. But yeah, okay. I'm excited for you though. It's exciting. Chelsea and then Christy in order, and then I'm going down the line here. If you guys want to drop a word or a phrase or something you want me to channel on for you, I'm happy to. If you want me to dive in for a solid 10 minutes, I have an $8 link. Keep it affordable. I'll send you the recording at the link in my bio. So Chelsea said, just ended a super toxic friendship Sunday, channeling my Queen of Swords. I love that for you too. I feel like, let me just kind of breaking down my 22. I feel like you still share mutual friends in some way, and so it's going to be a matter of almost I have the feeling for you, Chelsea, of you introduced this friend to other people, and now there's something about them that feels like it's teaming up, or this person is also trying to get other mutual friends that were friends of yours first to see their side. It's funny because I also saw a newspaper, and I saw, it looks like Boston, or walking near a lower brick wall, somewhere like cobblestoney, and there's water on the right-hand side. When I'm getting these visualizations, they almost feel like I'm a voyeur in a dream, or when we dream and we kind of see through our first person perspective, I believe, if I'm saying that correctly. But you walking on the left-hand side by side with this person, but they're kind of disappearing or dissipating off into the mist, which is interesting. Nothing to be afraid of though. Just a matter of it's dissipating, right? It's just there, gone 1 minute. It's like fog. It's annoying in the morning, but by the time you drive home in the afternoon, it's gone. I don't feel, you're sensitive, right? We're all sensitive, so it's tender, but it's nothing that you're going to be able to recover from. Anybody who is putting you in a position like that is never truly aware enough. I love that visual. I'm glad that was affirming for you. No, anyone who's put you in that position isn't a person who has enough wherewithal to be successful in your downfall or just like your reputation speaks for itself. So the people that know you love you, but it really is for you. What I also heard, similar for you, Miriam, too, double Leo, not my circus, not my monkeys. Get on the next train then if you don't like my tracks. Sorry, gotta go. You know, you'll be fine. I know it's tender, I know it's painful. It doesn't mean that it's not, but just allowing yourself to lean into that. I'm sorry that happened. It's so funny because I'm sure it's from your For You page, but I had seen on TikTok, there were a couple videos of people crying because they had gone through a friendship breakup. It was one woman and she had dark hair. She was sitting in her car and she was saying, like, why don't people tell you how much more painful it is to break up with your girl bestie? Probably, I'm sure we posted it, with your girl bestie than it is your boyfriend or something like that. You know, it was sweet, but also I could feel her sadness for sure. So I'm holding you in highlight right now. Let me see. Okay, and then I have beautiful Christy. So I guess if you're tapping in, please tell me more about TikTok. I've been posting like crazy. Okay, so I love this for you. It's so funny because when I popped up the little swipe up to be able to, when I swiped up to be able to pin your comment, I almost hit mute by accident. And sometimes those funny slip ups are elements where I think, oh, who is trying to mute you? Are you trying to mute you? But a little bit of what we had touched on before when I read for you is people in your life muting you, feeling like you have to always have been small and tidy and cute and petite and don't act this way, act that way. And so I love that posting is an exercise of just flexing the muscle in the spiritual gym of putting in the reps to get your spirit, your nervous system ready, your intuition ready for the bigger things to come. And so allowing yourself to make your first 100 posts be what you're just figuring it out, right? And that's the fun part, especially with your design. You're able to do a lot of trial and error and a lot of figuring out what is it that feels good for me, what posts get traction. Do I like to be in the vein of the one video I saw where it's speaking up from an activist perspective? Am I enjoying, just under the umbrella of expansion school, am I enjoying figuring out what each of those funnels mean? Now is your data time, figuring out how you can post consistently. I think the biggest thing whenever you're posting on a platform is to be able to not let yourself burn out in any sort of way. So with the expansion also comes a contraction period of, I've done this, okay, what am I doing? I need to go ahead back and reassess. And so being in that portal of figuring out, okay, at what point am I feeling exposure therapy? That was the word that I wanted to say. This feels like exposure therapy for you, in the sense that you're trying all the avenues. You have such a charismatic way about you that you're able to go forward with that, where not a lot of people have that. And you're so funny. You almost have dry humor in a lot of ways, which I know I saw in a short window. We've only technically known each other for an hour, but being able to flex that muscle is important, because at your core, in so many ways, you are an athlete, you are athletic. So what I'm seeing is transferring that over into your day-to-day life. Also for your space, being able to set your space up for success. So what do I mean by that? In your room, if you are wanting to post content and you do it in the same spot, like you guys see me every morning, I'm in the same spot doing my energy reads of the day. And what I do to make it really easy for myself is I have little crystals set up on my windowsill. Every night before I go to bed, I set up my microphone that I plug into my phone that I use, make sure it's charged. It's right on that windowsill. And it makes it easier for me to get up in the morning. The refinement piece from that is that once I get up in the morning, I realize that I don't like to get up that early, because I like to make sure that I'm getting it to you guys roughly before you're on with your day. So from there, I say, okay, well, how can I sit with the energy, channel the energy, be able to look at the energy, and then batch film ahead of time. So today I filmed today, but sometimes I'll go through phases where I'm batch filming ahead of time. And so riding the waves of that and not judging yourself for the days that, like myself, I'm like, okay, I have to wake up a little bit earlier than normal. It's really not that big of a deal. It's not like we're talking 4:30 in the morning. It would look like I'm filming at 8 o'clock at night, so there's no difference, but I like to use the daylight, right? So all that to say, for you, just allowing yourself to know that this is your data period. Don't judge. Burp of affirmation. Don't judge whatever comes up right now in terms of, I also heard have faith, like whatever it is that you're studying or wanting to learn more about, it's okay to be seen trying to do something new. It's okay to fail, quote unquote, publicly. And I say that because what feels like failure to you is not something that other people are going to see. You have that ability to be seen trying, and it's not unsafe for you to be seen trying in any way, shape, or form. So just remember that. You can figure it out along the way, and it's okay. Yeah, it's self-exposure therapy. Exactly. Oh, let me see. There's a couple hearts that got filtered. Thank you, Christy. I see your comments too. I'm going through. I saw Kat. I saw Orion. I see. Oh, see Vanessa. Let me go back here. And nothing's popping off because, hi, Freckleface. Oh, thank you so much. I actually thrifted this sweater for about $5. It's an old Chico. Is Chico's even still in business? I don't even know. I'm like, Chico's still in a store. Don't sleep on Chico's though. They have some nice basics. But what I was going to say with nothing popping off, Christy, is that knowing the portal that we're in, there's a lot of shifting parts right now in this portal. And so people are just trying to get their footing again. It's Libra season. So Libra season is all about finding balance. So figuring out what is that balance? What is the flow? You know, nothing's popping off because they're still testing your resilience, this application, to see, are you going to stay in it in the long haul? But that's just a general configuration of the system in and of itself. So yeah. Let's see. Kat, are you still here? I think Kat may still be here. Let me double check. I'll see. Hi, Ivan. Hi, Sid. Let me see if Kat's still here. Oh, wait a second, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, I've been loving the vibrant colors. It's been funny because I realized not too long ago that the colors that I love to oscillate between are like cobalt blue and bright red, and I'm also in the US. So I realized that probably sends a weird message sometimes in color theory. And I was like, I promise there's no hidden Mickey or hidden energy in the fact that I just genuinely like these colors. I just enjoy bright colors and how they look. I always get compliments on these colors, so thank you. Okay, yeah. Okay, Miriam, let me see. Let me just make sure I see your comment. So thank you. I think Kat has left. Let me just make sure I'm not skipping. I think Orion, and then Julia, and then Christy in order there too. Thank you, Orion. And then Miriam. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Thank you. I love doing these lives. It's a good grounded practice for me too, to be able to touch base with you guys in this way. So Viv resident, thank you. Safe to also say, stop trying to be seen by people who misunderstand. 1000%. I love when people be vibing their biz in private. I know. Okay, so your one word, Orion, is Taurus. So just tapping into the Taurus energy, it also feels like androgynous male energy, which is really funny. I also just think because of Taurus being the word you want me to channel on, I just keep tying it back to Venus, Aphrodite, statuesque, but also maybe wondering if a Taurus in your life is keeping tabs on you or trying to figure out, maybe they made you a business proposal and it seems too good to be true. It's funny because I also heard sowing your oats. Maybe oatmeal cookies. I don't know. I saw something of grandma's cookies, that episode of SpongeBob, if that means anything. Such silly, like, clairvoyance too at the same time. It's so funny because it feels like they're coming in from like the corner, or it feels very ethereal in an interesting sort of way, where it's almost like a out of body experience is the best thing that I can come up with a phrase to think for you. Almost just having to proceed with caution, which you normally do, but I think just because it seems too good to be true, it doesn't always have to be that way. It just feels very much so like there's still a period of assessment. Saucer, flying saucer, a UFO, if that's a vocabulary word, apples. I feel like it's good because you also will place like a keyword, and you'll be like, okay, if someone says this word, I know that this resonates with what I'm saying. So I'm wondering if that's been any of the keywords too. Oh, my mom used to make oatmeal cookies. My mom is a Taurus. Oh, there you go. Assessment. Okay. I love that. I love that. Oh, Sid, and you're a Taurus. I love that. Okay, there you go. Yeah, so it feels like it's interesting because when I pictured that in the ether, having that ability to almost have that mom protection as well against you. It's funny because what you said tickles something with my guides. Okay, I love that. I love that. Thank you for letting me pour into you for a couple minutes. It's so crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh, we've been on 36 minutes already. I can't believe that. It's so wild. But thank you. Let me see. Okay, I have Julia, Christy, and then Miriam. And there may have been a couple of you that commented after, but I'm just going in order here. So Chicago, feel free to tap in. I have interesting feelings about Chicago. Just for funsies, I'll say, but you can read between the lines just because of the portals that we're using, and I'm very sensitive about what and how I use these places, so I still have a place to communicate. If you can go on vacation or an extended vacation, I would. If I also feel called with cities like Chicago to say that it's so funny because it's 36 minutes, and 36 in human design is the gate of crises. So a lot of my angel numbers will come up in gates, will speak to me as little intuitive signs, or I'll get astrological signs as another way that I'm channeling. And so with Chicago, right, it's that kind of like assessing. If you can go on an extended vacation, I would. If you can't go on extended vacation or transition to somewhere new, I would plan on doing what you can to hermit for a little while. Just any kind of hunker down is what I also hear. You'll be fine. I'm not worried about you whatsoever. So it's not a safety thing for you, but I think that this isn't a time to push the envelope for you in a way that is physically bouncing around. The more grounded you can get in location is what I see for you. So just to affirm, it's probably things that your guides have also been picking up on. So just some ways for you to be able to, hi Josh, sit in your, I'm just channeling for Julia, that sigh wasn't for you. I don't know, hi Josh. But just allowing yourself to anchor in wherever that feels appropriate. But a lot of shifting and moving around and ping-ponging doesn't feel like the right move, because okay, I love that. Okay, perfect. So the hunkering down of October until January until you need to get there. Because I saw a lot of like refining. So it feels more so like when you are able to land, that's when you can expand, which I love for you. That's so exciting. My cousin Katie lives in Chicago. I don't know what part though. Okay, I love that. Yay! Oh, congratulations though. That's so exciting. And just so much opportunity. Oh, I love 111. I love that, Crystal. Okay, I'm still going down the line here. Okay, Christy. Let me pin your comment too. Is there anything that Spirit feels I need to know? I've been a hermit for a while. It feels like, and just when I kind of tapped into you earlier, Christy, we're at 39 minutes if you want to watch this back and scroll to the recording on YT. It feels like there's a lot of grief. Whenever I feel somatic heaviness in the lungs, and also like I don't know if your back left shoulder, it just feels like, because the hermit is also very much like this. It's like the lantern in tarot. It's a lantern card. but like you're ready to kind of be more proud with your chest open. It just feels like there's been a lot of sadness and grief. I don't know if you've had somebody that recently passed over, or you have somebody that, I don't know if mint chocolate chip, like mint green tiles, almost like a 1950s house is what I'm picturing, if that resonates at all for you. But it just feels like a lot of heaviness in the heart space. And there's multiple reasons. It feels like there was one thing that was a catalyst, but then it was exacerbated by your environment for you. And feeling like you're slowly but surely kind of being able to come back out again in some way, shape, or form. Oh, recently divorced. Okay, I'm so sorry. I mean, it's good, right? Because it's an expander, but there's still a hole, right? There's still I don't even want to say a wound, although it could feel like that, but maybe you have a scratch or something, but it feels like there's an ability for you to, when this is kind of funny, but when you pop a pimple and the gunk is cleared out, but there's still a hole there and it needs to heal, it feels like the hole is still there, but it's getting smaller. Like I pictured like a pimple that's like a little crater, but I can see that the skin has dried around I'm sorry that's so like graphic, but the skin has dried and it's a little red and tender, but like, you just want to be careful about when you put on makeup if it's healing or not. And just being able to have that. But what I will say is that regardless, you've removed something that was toxic to you, and to your skin. And so not feeling like you have to do anything with that, it almost feels like the energy that I'm getting for you is almost like you're haunting your own house. Almost for me, that usually says that there's a level of like, just kind of feeling like associative. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Of course. Thank you. No apologies needed. Like you say what comes to mind. I know, right? Like that's the whole point. It really. So thank you. But yeah, just feeling like a ghost in your own home. It feels like he may have moved out or they may have moved out. It could be, I mean, even when I say male energy, sometimes it's just like to show like a dominance thing or a dominance issue. Not the one I married is what I also heard. Like this isn't the person I married. Hi, Caroline. What's crazy is that I just like looked over to my Spotify and I don't even know how. It's because I saved a TikTok audio and it saved Deadbeat by Tame Impala came up. Yeah, he was not who I married. I did feel like a ghost in the house. I moved out. Okay, good. I'm glad you've transitioned to the next phase. It almost feels like this is a really hard test, but you know that you'll never make the same mistake again, and also just causing a lot of crises that you shouldn't have had to have dealt with at all. Hi, Guthrie. Just it's cleared a lot. I think allowing yourself to just start to fill and tend to that wound with things that feel good for you. It feels like there's a lot of taking care of yourself that you didn't. Hi, King Piscean. A lot of taking care of yourself that wasn't like you didn't realize that you weren't doing it. It wasn't even something that you can say, like I was just martyring myself so much, because you didn't even realize that was martyrdom. You were just like, this is just what we do, as a woman, this is just what we do. And then you're like, wait, that's not normal. And then you tell people stories and they're like, that's not normal for that to happen. 13, I see a lot of 3/6s also. Again, 36 is a crises number as well. So just paying attention to that too. I feel for you, but it will only go up from here. Healing is never linear. So there are going to be times that I'll say that you'll miss this person, that even though they weren't great to you, when you were together, you can still miss that person and like miss parts of them, but the full pie or what it became, that's what makes it confusing, because it's really easy to say, dump the guy, blah, blah, blah. But, when you go through the motions and you have a level of detachment, that's why they say absence makes the heart grow fonder, because our brain starts to get rid of the gray minutia, in between. And we have, it's complex, complicated layers of healing. That's when we say healing isn't linear. I always found when people say those phrases, it is a little hard because I understand the phrase as a concept, but then we say, okay, how do I actually apply this to my real life? So I understand the concept of absence making the heart grow fonder, but from a healing journey or post-divorce, it can also mean that I don't see this person in the same light every single day. I see their good parts and I say, oh, well, it wasn't that bad. He or she or they only did this one time, when that's what makes it a little mucky. Or, we have kids, or they helped me get out of bankruptcy, or they helped me through my last divorce, whatever it is. We start kind of making excuses for the behavior. Also, when it becomes hard for us to sit in the silence sometimes, but I know it feels to me, I think I'm just more so validating and reflecting back on now in this moment, channeling what was, not what is to become. I know it's not part of your future, but just allowing yourself to feel that. I've had wonderful days and hard days still. He has not stopped the toxic. I stay away. Okay, yes. I have another client that I just read for, on Monday when I did my last psychic hotline, and it was same exact situation, but he had moved out, and it was just a lot of the, like, how can you, with the way that you treat me, how can you even say that you loved me at some point in time? It's kind of creepy. So I'm sorry, Christy, but you'll be okay. Sometimes all we need is just one person to have the faith in saying that. So I'm happy to be able to be that one person for you. And I'm here every Wednesday and Thursday. So if you need a place to hang out, to occupy your time, I'm grateful that we have a really good portal on both sides. So, oh wow, yeah. Psychic hotline, thank you. I usually do, in addition to psychic hotline, human design hotline, because the alliteration. This is my handy dandy phone. It would be so funny if we had a way for me to be able to talk to you guys like this, but I don't know if we could get the audio rigged up. I'm like, don't you miss, like, I used to walk around with the phone like this all the time and just like, even though the cord was long, I just miss a good physical device. Exactly. Exactly. The emoji, right? Like, just being able to be, okay, so I'm channeling for Adonis right now. I'm channeling for Freckleface. Aw, Christy, Freckleface over on YT says, very courageous woman. Glad she is in the main character energy now. So just to help you. Miss Cleo, yes. I know. Party lines, exactly. Do you remember the 90s phase where everything was clear? And this isn't even a rotary phone, but I have to dust this off a little bit. But everything was clear. You could see through. I love it. Okay, let me put it over to very patient Miriam. Thank you, Miriam. So I'm a certified yapper, so it's very easy for me, as we know. Okay, so yeah. I really want to leave the place I'm in, but I'm scared because I'm stable here. You will, but not yet. That feeling of not having that ability to be stable isn't for no reason. For what I see for you is that I pictured you being in this moment where you want to move, but you can get Tupperwares and go to the store and say you buy, let's pretend that this is a toaster. You buy the toaster, and then so when you go to move, you can afford the toaster now, right? Not to say that you couldn't afford to move, but I think a place that meets your standards, there are certain things that you know are non-negotiables. Like, say, having, one of my non-negotiables was having laundry, just because of how much time it would take for me to be able to go. To come back, I'm 45 minutes from the nearest laundromat, so imagining that just would eat up so much time. So having, a washer and dryer, what have you. I'm in a house, so it made that easier. But things like that, to elaborate on it, being able to move back and forth. Also, just, I think that there's a level of like a meshment that is wherever you are right now, it feels like, where there's a lot of like, it feels like you're not just priming yourself to leave, but other people, either in the area, or I want to say almost that it feels like you take care of in some capacity. It doesn't necessarily feel negative in any capacity, but like there's just more strings attached than it being so simple. I wonder if it's family too in some capacity, or just very close friends that almost feel like family, or taking a leap, or almost if you're moving I don't know if the place you're looking to move is new or you're moving back or it's been something you've been ping-ponging for a while, but it feels like it's kind of been a thought that you're just like, I'm wanting to rip off the Band-Aid, you know? But just give yourself the time to do it the right way is what I heard. But it will happen. It's just a matter of doing what you need to do to feel stable. Maybe for you, that's having 3 months worth of expenses put in a high yield savings account. Whatever that physical manifestation of doing it the right way, whatever that means for you, is what I would focus on. So just being able to lean into that for yourself for sure. But I'm excited for you. I can just feel like you're like, oh, this is serious. I'm an adult now. Hi, Malia. Oh, and your mom's a Taurus Adonis. Oh my gosh, here you go. Everyone's Taurus moms are here. Thank you, Christy. Hi, Shelby. How are you? You're welcome. Yeah, Liv, whatever question I'm just going through. If anyone wants to do a full 10 minutes, there's an $8 link for that if you want to go ahead and send some bread my way. But I'm just going through and being of service to my people in my Piscean way. I can't help myself. Psychic questions, yes. Let me see. Oh, sorry, my contacts. It's so funny because I watch Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and people were making fun of Lisa Barlow. If you guys watch it, she's one of the housewives for blinking so much. And I wear contacts when I'm not on live, and so sometimes I realize that I put my glasses on accidentally when I have contacts on, and my eyes just get a little. I'm like, what's happening? Let me see. Okay, I'm just going in order. Let me find. Where was I? Okay, Christy, Miriam. Malia, thank you. Oh, I just wanted to congratulate you on becoming a wifey. Thank you. Yes, I did get married on September 21st. We eloped. It was just my husband and I in the very southern portion of Maine, with a lighthouse view as our backdrop. I'll be posting more videos and stuff about it because I did use some of my channeling, some human design, some astrology, all of the above to plan my wedding and choose my date. So that'll be fun to share. I'll do a longer video on YT. I've been filming because we have another event coming up in a couple weeks for the last of the event celebration with our family, because obviously no one was with us, to like a more casual party. So I'm making some content for that and then I'll post it. Thank you, Freckle. Thank you. But it was funny because another one of my clients was talking about, who's a projector in Patreon Afro, about working in a call center. And I met my now husband, oh my gosh, 7 or 8 years ago. I'll do quick math. 7 or 8 years ago, we've been together for 4 years, but 7 or 8 years ago, we were working at a call center for an insurance company, and that's how we met. But we didn't end up together because if you follow astrology or look at astrology for finding your partner, which kind of answers, forgive me, the one that was asking about Zoe, I'm going down the line here. Oh, hi, Jennifer. Yay. Okay. I see Jennifer for 8:30. Okay. 3 minutes and then I'll pivot over to beautiful Jennifer here. Thank you, Jennifer, over on YT. But what was I going to say? So because I'm an Aquarius rising, Leo is my 7th house, and the 7th house is partnership. So when I was in the most me place, and I was posting on Instagram all the time, I still do every day, but like in a different way, just more casually, less professionally at the time, because I wasn't in full swing of my human design, psychic astrology business yet. I was in my full Leo glory, and that's when we started dating. So it was, we hung out on July 7th. We said I love you on August 9th. So we move quickly around here. Yeah. Hi, Sean. Oh, nice to see you again. Let me see. Okay, let me do rapid fire before I pivot over to beautiful Jennifer here. So, Christy, Freckleface, Christy said, thank you. That's so kind. Okay. I think I had Oh, how do projectors best business plan, would you say? The short version, condensed version, is monetize your intellectual property. Get everything in writing is the short answer. I just want to make sure I get to a quickies here. Twin Flame Zoe, I think that for you, Liv, with Zoe specifically, it feels a little bit more, it's always going to be a push and pull. Almost feels like on Zoe's end, there's a little bit of emotional avoidant attachment energy. So if you can work through that together, that will work. I think there is an energy of you kind of being put in an anxious attachment and them avoidant attachment. So it's going to be a little bit of a yin and yang. Just watch out for that. But, you know, sometimes through the mess, we get the message is the short way that I'll put that. So I know. Listen, I can get a lot done in a minute. I'm very efficient with my time. Thank you. Oh, I appreciate that, Miriam. Thank you. My Piscean way. So beautiful, Jennifer. That's to my left-hand side here. I'm just going to pour into you for the next 10 minutes. So going through a financial struggle and don't know what to do career-wise. I left my 9-to-5 and need to leave my place of birth because it's draining me. Asking for important guidance based on my HD chart that you think might help, please and thank you. So let me pull up your chart as well while we're talking, but there's a couple things that I'll say. We're at the 56-minute mark for you. For Jennifer. So, Jen, when it comes to, forgive me, I have a lot of Jennifers that I defer to as Jen. I was just doing place cards and I wrote Jen. But when it comes to kind of creating a little bit of a shift and really figuring out what you're going to do career-wise in financial struggle. Hello, of course, absolutely. I feel like there's just also what I was picking up on for Miriam, having it's letting go of enmeshment is what it feels like, and being a little bit less, you need to get away to be able to have more clarity to focus on yourself. And I don't think that because you're stuck in a physical environment, it's much harder. I'm wondering if you're a projector or a generator. I'm going to pull it up now. But a projector. Okay. It's so funny because even though it's where the psychic senses come in, because I can usually guess what people's signs are, because whenever environment comes up and being enmeshed with your environment, I'm like, oh, this person's a projector. So environment is so important as a projector. You already are so sensitive to the people that you're around. That is part of what makes it more challenging for you. Let me go up here. Okay, so let's do this so you can see what I'm looking at. Should be pulling up my chart in 1 second. No, that wouldn't be it. I may have to update my software, which would mean that I would have to shut down my computer. Okay, so just for the sake of time, I won't share my screen, but I have your email, so I will send you a copy of your chart so you kind of know what I'm looking at. But essentially, you don't necessarily have to have it in front of you. It's just for the visual cue, but it's not essential, just for the sake of time. So it's so funny because the only channel that you have is literally the channel of community, just to show you folks over on TikTok what I'm looking at. It's this channel here. So anyone that has this channel, that's known as the channel of community. Hi, Anna. And so when you are surrounded by a community that is bringing you down, community is everything to you. So their approval means everything to you. However, if their approval is based on how much you can do and provide for them, it's not really doing you any favors of what's in service to you as an individual. So it's that unmucking yourself and getting yourself kind of unstuck. Networking. I would start to go to any kind of job fairs. If there's like a babes in business event around you, go to places where you can get an idea for what other people are doing in the career space, to be able to say, okay, this is what is showing me what's possible. This is what is showing me that, oh, I actually can focus on my job. What also happens with projectors that are in the environment where they're around like yourself, maybe people, and it doesn't have to be family, it could be coworkers as well. But, excuse me, when you may like your job, but it's actually the lack of downtime that is frustrating or makes you feel bitter because you don't get any recuperation time. So that recoup time is going to be so incredibly important. Hello, Anna. I'm just doing a reading for Jennifer over on YT right now. So that's where it becomes like, oh, like this is a little too much. A couple things that I'll say, because I mentioned this is helpful for you too, Crystal, with monetizing your intellectual property. Anything that has the last word strategist on the end is going to be really helpful. If you're in music, monetizing songwriting, for example, being a songwriter or writing melodies, the actual sheet music, being a ghostwriter, but then, deciding what you want to keep for yourself as an example. Figuring out how much for you, Jennifer, you want to be seen and recognized, and what level of attention is comfortable for you. And that'll help you assess, okay, do I want hybrid remote? What I'd say is that as a projectors really like systems. So what is your system of refinement for figuring out, okay, how can you lean forward or move forward in a way that allows you to check every job, check every relationship through a system that feels good for Jennifer. And so that allows you to see, okay, what's actually going to make me happy? What's actually going to make me feel like I'm not, what was your vocabulary? This isn't draining me. Really being able to lean into that. Let me look at your incarnation cross too. Wrong screen. Because that also has a little bit of intel because you're heading into that territory. Oh, Rainy Cross of planning. Event planning, event management also. That's the most literal sense. You also really like, as a channel of community, food, you're a very food-centric person. So food playing an impact on whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're organizing food events, maybe you're a chef, maybe you're a holistic chef. I actually just met, this is really cool. I was at an event on Sunday with one of my projector mentees, Rachel, and we were doing some artwork sales and organization for her. We set up a booth, and I met one of the clients of hers now that bought one of her prints is actually, by Miriam, Bad Bunny's private chef, and just went on tour with him in Puerto Rico. And I was like, how cool is this? Like, I'm at this random street fair. We're at this random street fair, and I would have never thought, like, that's just another career that I never would have thought of. But I gift that to you as like just showing you what's possible. So yes, I love that. I know food is amazing. I love food too. Just the art of eating, the art of crafting food, things along those lines are so important. And you can also teach us, like, whatever you feel called. I was saying not that long ago, hi Alma, not that long ago that I have been watching on TikTok Jen Morales, who's this woman. She's Mexican. She lives down in Texas, and just her dishes all are phenomenal. And so, like, she's kind of my comfort creator of this moment, which is funny. Just so you know what's on my For You page, a lot of Mexican dishes right now. But really being able to see, okay, with food in mind, also kind of allowing yourself to be creative about, like, what that may look like. Like, what are alternative ways that you can be in the food industry that maybe is outside of waitressing, or if that's a place you want to start so that you could be an executive chef or a pastry chef or make custom cakes, things along those lines can be helpful. Yeah, holistic health and healing eating. I love that. Healthy eating, excuse me. So when you said healing eating, I love that. I actually have a friend that's a projector that is a private chef, and she has the same exact incarnation cross. Her name's Olivia. She is a Pisces sun. projector. So which is funny because Virgo and Pisces are sister signs, so, or I should say opposite each other on the zodiac. So it is a lot about anything with Virgo is related to the gut. So a lot of how you come to understanding food is because you have gut issues or skin issues yourself. So it leads into that territory a little bit as well. But yeah, just feeling that, you know, or just having somebody that maybe had a chronic illness that you're helping too. I also pictured you going around and like teaching different dietary habits. Like maybe you could go to like schools to speak, kind of like what Michelle Obama walks so you could run, sort of things too. Yeah, natural. Oh my gosh, yes. Well, I see so much of our 90s babies, we have Virgo Chirons. So Virgo rules the gut, Chiron is the wounded healer. So no wonder like IBS is so popular with our generation. IBS just loves millennials for that reason. But we're really noticing that. So yeah, Jennifer, in the last minute that I have you, I would just say anything where you can organize or structure your day. You're self-motivated, so no one needs to be breathing down your neck. Hi, Nini, thank you. I'm sorry, I just saw your message. Yeah, there you go, Crystal. Oh my God, yes. So anything that allows you to have your elbow room. I also would look into, one of the things that I had done, oh, I can write that down too, was for myself, reminder finger. I was a curator and have curated a lot of events in my lifetime, and art events, music events. I was in arts and music management in New York City while I was building my human design, psychic astrology business. And there was a vegan chef that was doing vegan, obviously, dinner parties, what's that term? I can't think of the term off the top of my head right now. A supper club. Hi, Holly. A supper club. And she would go in and she would do a 5-course tasting menu. It was like $100 for a ticket or $80 or something like that. Beverages were included. So like it was like the whole 5-star experience, if you will. And she also did vegan like protein balls and smoothies or salad stuff that she could make, pasta salad, and bring to different storefronts. Like if a holistic or local market had a food, what's it called? Like a refrigerator of some sort, that also could be an opportunity where you could err on the side of more self-employed. So, just being able to figure out what that looks like for you. Yeah, dietitian, exactly. Yes, it's a perfect offshoot. That's funny because I was talking about the visual of the PDF, a dietitian. And your husband is one, and he used to teach patients in the hospital after they got new diagnosis. He now works for a supplement co-designing health food products. That's amazing. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I'm wondering if that was a visual that I was picturing, if it was your husband, but also because Jennifer is supposed to be doing it. So thank you for sharing that. I love that. But just a couple other fun ideas, Jennifer. I think the biggest thing that I could say for everybody, because a lot of us are feeling a little bit depleted by life right now, to say the least. For those of us, I feel like I know that I've had the luxury because I started early with being able to be in a position where I can help you guys kind of figure out how to do some things more efficiently and not make the same mistakes that I made when I was starting out my self-employment journey. But is just figuring out what is it that you are okay to try every day. So, being able to lean into that. So thank you for letting me read for you. And we'll keep on going. I'll probably be on for another 15 minutes or so. And then hop off for the evening. If anyone has any other questions, comments, curiosities, anything along those lines. You were right. Sister signs are opposite the wheel. Thank you. It's so funny because I heard the opposite and I was like, in my 1-3 way, I have to research that. I have to confirm that I'm using the term correctly. Because I say that I have an Aquarius stellium, but technically, from the the legal side of astrology talk, are rising sign is not a stellium, and I'm like, okay, but it's my rising sign, so I'll use it together. Oh yeah, exactly. Pisces moon. It's so funny. The projector that I read for today in my 1 hour is a Pisces moon, and my husband is a Pisces moon. So we have what's called sun moon synastry. So we connect really well. It's like I illuminate your emotions, or I can really speak to you on an emotional place. So that's why we're like, aw, bestie. I love you. Yeah, you're so welcome, Jen. I'll email you with a link with the timestamp so that you can watch your reading again and again. And I read Freckles' comment out loud because the chat doesn't replay, so that way you can watch it again and again. Yeah, I think if the energy affects you strongly enough, you should include it regardless of the planet designation. I agree. It's so funny because I think that's where we get the kind of like, we get to tweak it now. And that's hi, Pamin. That's a lot of the reasons I had with Ra Urahu and Human Design and the way that he worded things. Of course, the way that he worded things, which is the Karen Curry Parker, who does quantum human design, that was where she took off with it too. It was like making human design sound kinder. And I also feel that way, where it should be a little bit more soft. Like some of the words feel so strong, but I also like, I'm used to a level of assertive reading from men during the 80s. Like just because I was an art historian by university degree. And I just have read a lot of angry men writing writing things about my senior thesis was on Helen Frankenthaler, and this book, if you guys are into art at all, 9th Street Women, is about the second wave of abstract expressionism. And so I've done my research, but yeah, exactly, which we're one and the same in so many ways, although like history in some ways I wish didn't get glossed over as much, as I've better way to say it. But what I liked about art history is that it was cross-cultural, and all of my 9th house energy in Placidus, that's where a lot of my Scorpio sits, appreciates the density of that. So I don't know. And I also say, Orion, like being a history major, me being art history, it helped us so much to be able to pick up astrology and human design more quickly, because we're used to like decoding a lot. So it's kind of like we just rinse and repeated that formula. Yes, exactly. Like all pink. We're all in that area. We're all in the top of the chart. Yeah, between the 9th and the 10th as well. We're like the nerds that can't stop researching everything all the time. Anna, I hope you're feeling better, my dear. Oh my gosh. The energy has been so heavy. Anna's a beautiful projector too. I feel for you guys. The headache that I had yesterday, oh my gosh. I felt just the full moon in Aries, my 3rd house, which is about the mind. You could not be more nail on the head. I'm like, how did I not see this? I just think sometimes I see that I don't, hi buddy. I don't see the things that I don't want to see sometimes. I'm like, this is just, it's inconvenient for me to have a headache. I don't want to see that. I'm like, I want to be with my people, okay? Don't distract me right now. I have things to do. Aw, yeah, I'm sorry. I know, because you're with your migraine too. Like, hello, for you, of course. Yesterday and today have slammed me down hard. I know. It feels like the best way I could say is a genetic upgrade. Like, I'll leave it at that. That probably validates some spiritual things for you too. Oh, thank you, Maddie. Just want to say congratulations on your wedding. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to share with you guys. Yeah, okay, Orion, yes. I'm so excited to share more with you guys. Excuse me, still waiting for my photos and my videos to come back, so I want to be able to use those. I did astrocartography and an astrology reading for my videographer. She's a manifester, so thank you for the comment. Ethalie, oh, I love that. Yeah, she was also so sweet. Thank you so much. So we actually got married on the behind the scenes things I'll tell you guys is that we got married on the new moon in Libra. Our ceremony was a half hour, simple, because it was just my husband and I, and we exchanged vows, and it was the eclipse. Hold on, I can tell you what time the eclipse was. Which is so funny because it literally was in the Gate 46 in Human Design, which is the physical somatics of the body. Anna, before I forget to tell you this, because Anna made a beautiful PowerPoint for me about dates that would be good to get married or do something for marriage. And so I wanted to use an excerpt of our reading, Anna, in my YT video. That's what I kept meaning to ask you. We were like talking about that. I was like, I have to like text her, write her a message to let her know. What was the time of the, yeah, I know, it was so fun. I'm so glad. I feel like we just did it and I'm like, oh my gosh, how is that February? Where am I? Oh, 3:54 was the time of the new moon. We got married. So officially it was probably like 413, which is funny because it's love IU. 143 means I love you in beeper code. So I'm dating myself. Although beepers were such a blip in time, I'm a 94 baby. So, yeah, okay, perfect, Anna, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mari. I'm just very intentional. So it's so funny because I also have a Taurus, a 4th house. And so a lot of things when it comes to love or like setting the intention or foundation and home, even though I move very quickly because manifesting generator things, there are certain things that I had been thinking about the concept long before the execution happened, which I think especially my projectors, Anna, Crystal, Jennifer, like we've thought about the concept of being a dietitian or a chef or anything along those lines, but like the ability to have it like come to fruition is what helps. So yeah, what I also did too, which I've recorded some footage because it's become my new morning routine with my son who's lounging over there. Yeah, you know I'm talking about you, I love you. My cat. He's in my create my thrift haul and my altar video. But we had a flower arch, and so yeah, thank you so much. Oh yeah, I'm happy to. I've really been in my I've always been a very being in my service as a Pisces energy person, but like as I am finishing my Saturn return and just leaning into how I can really be of psychic service, I've been amping that up for the month of October as well. But Nico, I know, your little guy, he's probably not so little anymore. How is he? I love that. They're playing together at night when they astro project back and forth to each other. But all that to say, we had a flower arch that had really beautiful flowers, and so it was up for not so little, I know, I can imagine. They grow so fast. But I took all of the flowers because we drove up to Maine. So I disassembled I would say 90% of the flower arch, and they're actually all drying in my spare room that I have behind my office here so that I can use them at my family party on the table so that like nothing goes to waste over here. And a lot of that, like, of course, you know, financially, like fresh flowers are expensive, so I wanted to be able to get my money's worth, but also just like being resourceful. I'm like, I cannot in good faith, like, know that these flowers are literally just going to go in the garbage, you know, and because it's a wedding venue. So yeah, I had anthurium, which I have some in my altar. If you scroll down maybe for like a week ago, yes, so I didn't do resin, but I pressed the flowers for my bouquet, and I just took them out today and they pressed really well. But I have the orchids to do next. They're actually still in my refrigerator and they're still together. So what I read on a Reddit thread for pressed flowers, if you ever want to do this, is you put 2 pieces of copy paper, so like printer paper, and you iron the orchid. Yeah, there you go, Crystal, thank you. So a sign, maybe I should do resin. Maybe that was a sign to do resin instead of the pressed, but I'll show you. Because these are all from I just got this vase for $1 at the thrift store that's not too far from my house. So I had these like mauve colored roses. That's from my arch, and then I had the little white rose buds that she used. The girl Carly, hillside florist, she's amazing. And then these are anthurium. These are actually still, this one still is a little wet, but these can be run a little expensive. And it's so funny because Toby, who's our reflector here, thank you, in our community here that I've known for a while, hi Mia, welcome, is a psychic as well, and she was picking up on Benny because she's also a pet psychic. Me too. The other color I have is that like maroon, like oxblood color. So they'll make an appearance, but she was telling me, I'm watching him as I'm talking because he knows he's a Leo, so he knows what mommy's talking about him, so he's getting more comfortable. But she was telling me that Benny thinks it's funny. Benny's my cat's name. He thinks it's funny when he bites the flowers, that I can never have fresh flowers in my house. Whenever my husband gets me a bouquet, they go right in the refrigerator. So I have a very decorated inside of my fridge. But she was saying, like, he doesn't really care to eat them. He just thinks it's funny that you get mad or, like, go after him, like, when he bites flowers. I was like, that little trickster. Right, your mommy's trickster. whenever I see him and I'm talking about him, Manny and I, because we make up the jingles, as I'm sure you do with Nico and your kitties too, Orion, but we make up the jingles, and I'm like, the songs about our cats and our animals in general. And I always say with Benny, when we walk past him in his regal way, and I say I have to pay the toll, which means to give him a kiss or pet him. So we have to pay the toll, right? I pay the toll. I love you. He's so cute. But yeah, it was nice to spend time with you guys. Let me know if there's anything else in the last 6 minutes or so. It felt good to just channel for you guys and to chill. It's always so funny because channeling is so different from doing a more cerebral. It's all cerebral, but it's, if we're looking at your chakras, right? We have our third eye, mental, ajna, and then we have our crown and our head. And it's when I'm doing a psychic reading, I'm more in the crown. When I'm doing a human design projector reading, which is funny, Freudian slip, astrology reading, it's more the data's computing. And I know that with the full moon in Aries, I was let me think in a different way. So let me come on here and do some psychic readings. But I do know that a couple people were asking for astrocartography and more human design readings tomorrow. So I'll go to a human design live tomorrow, and then we'll still play with maybe I'll do a psychic on Wednesday, and then a human design psychic hotline on Wednesday, and human design hotline on Thursdays and Saturdays, because I have my Patreon crew. You guys can always do either. I've had a couple people ask because you guys get a complimentary reading. Adonis, since you're now too, for anyone that joins my Patreon for the $22 tier, you get a complimentary reading once a month. So you can also use that for psychic mediumship. Zaria did that this month, or you can use it for the strategy. We talk a lot about business strategy for love, anything that you need to get unstuck in a more this is how it all affects our real life, but this is how I can put the strategy into effect to get my active manifestations to happen for me, business strategy, content strategy, all of those businessy things. So, do you hear it's not ringing, but a high pitched frequency? I hear that a lot. Can you look at your human design body graph and look if you have gate 57? I'd be curious because gate 57 is the gate of the right ear, and we just went into that sun transit. It's 15 to 20 degree Libra placement. We just hit that beginning of that window today. I actually just posted a deep dive about it, Christy. It's so funny because I had all Christie's too. I know you did. I mentioned you, Anna, in the transits of the week. I was like, this is our transit day, and I mentioned you specifically in that video. I have to cross post it to Patreon. Because I started doing, for those of you that follow me on YT or sub to me on YT, I do the do's and don'ts of the week. I just started doing that, so the next one will be out on Sunday. Yeah, so that would be, it's the acoustics. So Anna is validating that for you. It's really being in tune. It literally is a frequency. So you are literally picking up on the frequency of the universe. They don't turn it down even when I ask. I know. It feels like tinnitus. Yeah, Orion. I mean, let's talk about it, but it's basically just a frequency that you're picking up. It's just another level of you being able to tune into the acoustics of the world. I have some theories about what it may be that I can't share in this portal, for risk of not being able to ever talk to you on here again. So we could talk about it maybe separately at another time, but I think that anything... Let me figure out a way that I can word this to be less cryptic, but our 5 senses, 6 senses, yeah, I mean, listen, I feel like also using your intuition, if you feel like that's the frequency that's been connecting with you, my take as well, and listen, I don't have a definitive answer on this myself, but one of the theories I have is that, Crystal will know this, how there's certain frequencies in music that our cells respond to in a different way. I think that there's also some auditory influences that can sometimes be sprinkled throughout our atmosphere that just affect us in different ways, is the best way that I'll say that in my cryptic way. But I think that kind of sums it up in a way that makes a little bit more sense if you could pick up what I'm putting down. But I think that if there's anything that you feel that you know in your lived experience of having gate 57 that feels like it's more apropos or applies more to the scenario, I wouldn't doubt that for yourself either. So, but I love that. Yeah, it's so funny because when we see Noelle, who's one of our Leo risings that's here in a generator, says a lot that she sees me as such an alien. And so because I have an Aquarius rising, a Mars and Mercury on my ascendant, I have that kind of beep-boop alien quality to me, and almost like I can, in my Piscean way, also being mutable, I just can really connect with people. I'm like, what version of me do people need so that I can truly be of service in a way that I'm saying, okay, this person's a mathematician, I'm going to give you more math-based data versus this person's a psychic. I'm going to give you more psychic-based, whatever the case is. But I see that within myself too. I was having this conversation with my husband yesterday that, what were you watching? It was I think a YT video, or yes, it was. So there's this funny channel called Slap Tam. It literally is just a spooky video channel. It's not as perverse as it sounds. We were laughing because we'll watch them because they're like 15-minute videos at a time. But long story short, he was telling the story of how these people thought that they were invaded by aliens. And I said, it's so interesting because we talk about how we're carbon-based life here. I prefer both. There you go. There you go. Exactly. My kind of gal. But how it's interesting to think that they would show up to us as like having such like closely related human form, like as aliens are talking about like intergalactic beings, and how are they actually bipedal humanoid creatures, or is that just the way that they show themselves to us because it's like a way that they can mirror us most closely, kind of like a cloak of some sort or a costume. It's just fun to think about. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't spent too much time. I feel like I defer to the experts, like Orion here, Adonis here, would be able to speak to that more fluently than I can. But hi, Patty, or Paddle, welcome. Yeah, more eloquently than I can maybe in this moment or ever at that point. But yeah, but I'm so glad you guys were here for Psychic Hotline. Thank you for being with me. I'm going to do, if you haven't commented or if you're joining and want to comment and want a little bit of a psychic read, I'm going to send some emails, probably at some point throughout the next couple hours. Jennifer, you'll get your email tonight. I have to go back and do my email homework for the people I read for on Monday that signed up. And her feeble minds can understand and freak out less, maybe. Yes, exactly. But if you want a little channeled reading from me and you have not yet done so, you can drop a word or your rising sign, whatever you want me to channel for you, in the comments on my TikTok, my last TikTok, or my YouTube short if you're on this portal, and I'll write back a little sentence or three about what I'm channeling based on what you've said, just to kind of validate some more, just to see what comes through, which is kind of a fun way for us to be able to tap into the frequency of using this Gate 57 transit, my psychic gifts, being able to help practice and give a little bit more, get better all the time. I think we can never stop learning. The best teachers of us know that, and be able to lean into that. So if you haven't done so, you know where to find me on both of my platforms. I appreciate you guys for being here. It was so nice, Crystal. It was so nice to meet you. Thank you. Aw, I'm gonna screenshot that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I love talking about business when it comes to human design and astrology. That's like my jam. I have a 10th house stellium, so that's I love when my people make money. That's just the best, and in a way that makes sense. So, Patreon could have, yes, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in Patreon for the last little thing that I'll say. I've been doing Patreon for over a year now. And so when you join, like my projectors are my biggest group, which is so funny. But when you join, you get an archive of all of the monthly trainings that I've done. At the first of the month, there's always a new training. So thank you so much, Orion. I love having you there. It's been so special. Orion's an OG from the beginning. He'll be grandfathered into everything moving forward and whatever I do in that space. But long story short, you get access to all the trainings from the beginning. So basically whatever, 12 plus, and then we do a full moon circle, we do a new moon circle every month, and then I also, on the 25th of this month, I'm doing an Ask Me Anything. So we go into a Zoom room. It's similar to a live, but you have me in Zoom where you can unmute yourself and show your camera, or turn on your camera if you want to be able to be on camera, so I can see you and communicate with you personally. And you have access to the chat 24/7. So I've been talking to a lot of you guys one-on-one in there too, when you have the 3 a.m. questions. So, and I keep it affordable. It's $22 a month. So that way, you can join, come and go as you please. So there's no requirements. So yeah, Anna's in there as well, my beautiful projector. So a couple of my folks, but thank you guys so much.